Coming up on NewsWatch Ole Miss, a gun was found in a baby's crib in Tennessee.
And a destructive tornado in Alabama leaves a family homeless.
And we've got the story behind one of Oxford's most famous residents. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Annabelle Kinney.
And I'm Hannah Baker. A teenager is dead and a toddler is injured in Memphis. On Sunday night, Memphis police officers responded to a shooting and arrived on the scene to discover the body of a 17-year-old girl. A 3-year-old was also injured and taken to the hospital in critical condition. There is no word on a suspect at this time. This is an ongoing investigation, and as we learn more, we will keep you updated.
A woman was sentenced to 20 years in prison yesterday after hitting a DeSoto County deputy with her vehicle back in 2021. Deputy Austin Eldridge was critically injured in this crash and even lost his leg. The suspect, Catherine Harris, was also charged in 2021 with a DUI involving death or serious harm. Harris will be eligible for parole after she serves 10 years.
A Memphis school was put on lockdown after a parent allegedly threatened to shoot a school security officer.
Shortly before school let out, the parent and the officer at Freedom Preparatory Academy got into a disagreement. According to the school report, the mother, Danisha Brack, got upset, started yelling at the officer because she could not get her child out of school.
The principal then put the school on lockdown only for a few minutes and no one was harmed. Brack is charged making a threat of mass violence on school property, and she was released without bond. Yesterday, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency confirmed that the water in Jackson is finally safe to drink again after months of sampling at a treatment plant that was affected by immense flooding back in August. However, Mississippi's capital city still remains under a state of emergency, which has been extended to November 22nd under Mayor Lumumba's orders. While the water may be deemed safe to drink, the work is far from over. The EPA said it was investigating whether or not agencies have discriminated against the city, refusing to fund water system improvements in a city with a predominantly black population. Democratic Representative Benny Thompson says this investigation is expected to take about 4 months. For the past few weeks, the Mississippi River water levels in Memphis have been extremely low due to severe drought, but this has also let treasures be discovered. The latest find is an old riverboat casino named the Diamond Lady. The Diamond Lady set sail in the 90s and became a floating casino a few years later. However, the boat sat empty and unused for years, and during a severe storm last year, she sank. Now, although she is not up and running again, she is found. Governor Tate Reeves is calling lawmakers for a special session to discuss incentives for a new and big economic development project that is coming to the Big Triangle, located in Northeast Mississippi.
This project will provide more than 1,000 jobs with average salaries of $93,000. In a press conference, he did not name the company, but says they will make a $2.5 million investment. He also did not comment on what exactly the incentives were, but did mention that this project will provide workers with jobs that are more than double the existing salary in Mississippi.
The special session will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m. Now, Oxford is known for many famous residents, including William Faulkner and John Grisham. But have you ever heard of Chris from Roosters? If not, I can tell you all about him. And if you have, I might be able to tell you a little more that you didn't know about him. As you may know, the Ole Miss community has its very own celebrity, Chris from Roosters, who has become a big part in people's lives, not just at Ole Miss, but in the Oxford community as well. I spoke with a few people whose lives have been impacted by Chris himself and how he is one of Oxford's most famous residents.
I'm a senior here at Ole Miss, and I'm Chris's roommate. Chris has become more to me than just a roommate and a friend. He's become family to all of us. He calls me his brother, his roommate, his family. What I'd have to say he's most known for is, which I think everybody would agree on, is how he can balance a bottle on his head and walk around with it. as long as he needs to.
One night, Wes's brother was driving around the square when he saw Chris and decided to bring him home. Wes says ever since then, they fell in love with Chris and he has become part of their family. He spends the holidays with them, travels, and even went to the College World Series with them this past summer. On Chris's days off from work, you can find him at home watching TV, playing with his rabbits, or on the square at Rooster's Blues house where he gets his well-known name from.
Chris got the name Chris from Roosters basically just because he comes here all the time and we all treat him like family. He's like a brother to all of us and he's a really big part of our campus and our community. But he's a great guy. I would say all my favorite memories are just when we're closing and Chris is still in here and he just gives us something to laugh about after a really hard day.
Chris got his name basically because everyone started seeing him here, so he basically became our mascot almost. Him being known for being from Roosters, everyone is always really excited to come here and get to see Chris and get to interact with him and get a picture with him.
When Chris isn't at Roosters or spending time with the Oxford community, you may see him at Obie's where he works during the day. Chris is the head dishwasher who has been working there since 2005 when they first opened.
Chris is a great employee. He's always here, always smiling, always enjoying his job and getting all the dishes washed and cleaned to perfection.
Chris says he's made so many friends on campus and loves how kind the campus and Ole Miss community is.
Hey, how you doing? Chris from Rooster everywhere. I love Ole Miss.
His friends and family say one of his biggest dreams is to be on the Jumbotron at the last Ole Miss football home game and start the "Are You Ready" chant.
The Regents cross-country team claimed the Mississippi Association of Independent School 2A state championship. Both the boys and girls teams won the title for the second season in a row. The boys placed 6 runners in the top 10 and the girls placed 5 runners. Athletic director and head coach Brandon Beckett says he's proud of the way his team worked to achieve their goals this season, especially after competing against larger public and private schools in some tough meets. We congratulate the Lions and can't wait to see what they do next season.
Coming up, a family in Alabama is homeless after a tornado yesterday.
And will a strike at Delta Airlines affect holiday travel? We'll let you know this and more after the break. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Hey Rebels, it is a warm and cloudy day here in Oxford. Make sure to stay tuned for your 5-day weather forecast and more.
Does it ever seem like some people are actually trying to destroy the planet? And the rest of us are like, hey, we need this planet. Some people may be slow to learn, but they'll eventually get the message.
Great having you.
Incredible women.
I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit?
No.
I want to make immersive video games. I want to revolutionize 3D printing. I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Is my light bright enough? You're such a glow-off.
Well, you know.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Legacy isn't just about where you're from, it's about where you're going. So where are you going?
I'm going to be the first in my family to graduate.
I'm going to make a difference.
Just like my granddad.
I'm going to make the bestseller list.
And I'm going to help him get there.
I'm going to win a championship.
Again! I'm going to lock the vault! Hotty toddy!
I'm going to take the next step.
I'm going to bring them to their feet.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Build your legacy.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. A gun was found in a baby's crib under the mattress in a house in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Dyersburg police teamed up with the Tennessee Department of Correction Apprehension Unit on Friday afternoon to conduct a special operation serving search warrants on wanted individuals in high crime areas. This is when they found marijuana, pills, and firearms and a gun. 6 people were arrested and additional charges are to come upon further investigation.
30% more likely to die from breast cancer than white women. A recent study shows that the disease is now the leading cause of death in Black women without early diagnosis, surpassing lung cancer. Researchers say lack of insurance as well as socioeconomic and transportation issues contribute to Black women having equal access to health care, particularly in our own home state of Mississippi. Authorities call this a national emergency, arguing that Black women gaining better access to earlier screening could make a huge impact.
A single mother and her 13-year-old son were left frightened and homeless after a tornado touched down in Baldwin County, Alabama. Reporter Emily Pounds has the story on this family as they begin to pick up the pieces.
By the time I went to go to get my son so we could be in the same room, it had already done just blowed us everywhere.
A tornado touched down in Baldwin County on County Road 6, leaving a single mother and her 13-year-old son frightened and homeless.
He popped out first looking for me. It was solid dark. And I was in that other rubbish over there. I got trapped in the kitchen.
And we walked out here and then we noticed the trailer was completely gone. So Joe and Bobby lost everything.
The National Weather Service confirmed a tornado touched down at 6:55 p.m. Saturday. Joanne Valinsky and her son Bobby say they can't believe they made it out.
Yes, it was like a train. It was like a train, like just vibrating through the whole house.
Valinsky says she was trying to get to her son when the mobile home took air and their boat rammed into the backside of their home.
The vibrations. And then we heard the hit, and then the power was still on when we flipped the first time. We just rolled and rolled and rolled.
After it was all over, they needed help, so they quickly turned on their car lights to act as a distress signal.
And we put the flashes on the car. No response. So we turned them off. And then I said, well, we're going to put them back on like a flare gun, use it, you know. So we put it on the second time. They still didn't come. So we walked to the mailbox out there where the headlights of the fire truck and the first responders. When we popped out up there, they just was like more shocked to see us walking in the dark through all of this.
One neighbor we spoke with says her boat also flew across the property, flying from the blue house to the front of Valinsky's home. In the end, neighbors and Valinsky say they are thankful it was not worse and are now trying to pick up the pieces.
Believe it or not, regardless of how bad it looks, we consider it a miracle that they walked away from this.
Hospital beds continue to fill up as RSV cases in newborns skyrocket, and now Pfizer is working on a vaccine for the illness, saying it has enough data to be FDA approved. The company says it will submit its findings by the end of 2022. If you're unfamiliar with RSV, it is a common respiratory virus that can feel a lot like the common cold. But don't let these mild symptoms fool you. RSV can be very dangerous for both infants and older adults. Pfizer's vaccine would be administered to pregnant women to produce the antibodies they can in order to pass on to their newborn. If FDA approved, it would be the very first RSV vaccine.
Delta Airlines pilots could be going on strike soon, but this shouldn't interfere with holiday travel. 99% of Delta pilots authorized a strike to get a new contract in an Airlines Association union vote. The pilots say they want new contracts and have been using outdated ones from 2016. The union says negotiations have been on and off for years, while Delta says that negotiations are processing. However, airline officials say they are confident that both the pilots and the company can reach an agreement. This potential strike would not be happening until after Thanksgiving, so that no travel is affected during that time. And speaking of airlines, if you're a window or aisle seat person when it comes to flying on planes, you may change your mind after this. Subway is offering free subs for those who are sandwiched in the undesirable middle seat. The company understands that the middle seat is never anyone's first choice, so this Thursday, November 3rd, which is National Sandwich Day, travelers can upload photos of themselves in the middle seat for the chance to win a free footlong. While this offer is only available for one day, the restaurant plans to give away 10,000 gift cards for free footlongs. No travel plans Thursday? Not to worry. They are also offering a buy one get one free promo code for non-travelers.
And now let's get back to Mallory for a quick look at weather.
Hey Oxford, it is definitely a warm start to our November today. Make sure to stay tuned to see what the rest of our week holds after this break.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Hey Rebels, I am Mallory Edgen with your weather for today. It is currently 69 degrees outside, which makes for a pretty warm start to our November. Looking into our region, we are seeing much of the same thing, with our temperatures falling in the high 60s to low 70s, and Tupelo topping us out at a temperature of 73. Going into our night, our temperature is going to drop down just a little bit, but not too much, and we are going to have light winds coming in at about 1 to 2 miles per hour. Going into tomorrow, we are heating up even more for a high temperature of 78, and we do have winds coming in at 1 to 4 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at our region again. We are seeing much of the same thing, with all of our temps falling in the high 70s, and this is extremely rare for this time of the year, so make sure you go out and enjoy that warm weather. Now let's take a look at our 5-day weather forecast. It looks like it's going to be a pretty decent week here in Oxford, with the exception of Saturday. Starting with Wednesday, we will have a high of 78, Thursday 79, Friday 79 as well, going back down to 67 on Saturday and up again to 73 on Sunday. Our temperatures will fall down to more fall-like temperatures through the night. Now let's take a look at our weekly outlook. It is going to be a warm week overall, especially compared to the temperatures of this time of the year as usual. And that is all I have for the weather today. I hope you all have a great week and hotty toddy.
And coming up, the wait is over. Rebel basketball is back, and Ali Morales is making big news on the court. I'll have that up next in sports.
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry. I'll see you later.
Ole Miss 18th NCAA tournament appearance.
This is fun, folks, as Baker's peeling it. Little heat check. Snow Collins for three. Bring it up.
Said, I love Madison Scott.
Ole Miss Rebels are having a lot of fun, and you can see why.
Season officially over for Ole Miss men's basketball, which hits the floor in an expedition against West Georgia inside the SBJ Pavilion on Tuesday night. Tip-off is set for 6:30 p.m. and admission is free for all fans. Ole Miss enters year 5 under head coach Kurt Davis and will feature two of the most exciting guards in the SEC, junior Matthew Morrell and sophomore Deshaun Ruffin. Ole Miss will open the 2022-2023 regular season next Monday, November 7th against Alcorn State at 8 p.m. at home. After guiding Ole Miss to a rivalry win against Mississippi State in the Magnolia State Showdown, the setter Ali Morales was named the SEC Co-Freshman of the Week. The conference announced Monday afternoon the freshman was the only assist one shy of her career high, tallying 52, as Ole Miss won its third straight SEC match. It marked her third contest win of the season and 50-plus assists. Further, Morales' 52 assists are the most by an SEC student-athlete in 4-season set match this season. The Rebels will be back in action this week, hosting a Tennessee midweek matchup on November 2nd at 6:30 in the Gillum Center. Game 3 of the World Series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Houston Astros was postponed to last night by a forecast of rain throughout the evening. It will now be played tonight with a Game 4 set of Wednesday and a Game 5 on Thursday. Games 6 and 7, if necessary, will be played on Saturday and Sunday in Houston, with Friday serving off as an off day. Originally, Thursday was supposed to be a travel day, but the MLB pushed 6 games and 7 back a day to allow for travel now on Friday. And it was another exciting edition of Monday Night Football last night. The Cincinnati Bengals played against the Cleveland Browns, with the Browns beating the Bengals for the 5th time in a row. The Browns ended a 4-game losing streak to stay competitive while awaiting quarterback Deshaun Watson's return from an 11-game suspension. The Browns came out of guns a-blazing, starting the game with a 25-0 lead. Burrow connected on second scoring passes for the first quarter to Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, but only helped him to pad the stats, took some sting out of the scoreboard. The Eagles will host the Carolina Panthers on Sunday, and the Browns have a bye week this weekend. And that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to follow us at Rebel_Watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Skylar. Coming up, as the weather cools down, the holiday season is heating up in the kitchen.
Think of all the best holiday foods. I bet at least one of them has cinnamon. More coming up after the break.
times during class and I tell her to talk to him. And it's like, oh, ew.
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready?
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Halloween may be over, but the holiday season is just beginning.
Yes, and that means food, lots of it. And I bet at least one of you has recipes with cinnamon.
So it only makes sense to celebrate the spice of the season with its own special day.
Yep, today is National Cinnamon's Quintessential Warmth Day. Our home with welcoming scents like no other.
It balances the sweetness of apple pie, and all you pumpkin spice lovers know it's crucial for your PSL. It also adds warmth to savory dishes. Think about pairing it with sweet potatoes or butternut squash.
Cinnamon is often the most purchased holiday spice, but cinnamony celebrations didn't start until 2019. So now that it's got its own holiday, think about what you can cook up with a dash of cinnamon to celebrate.
No, I absolutely love holiday foods, and like pumpkin pie and cinnamon, amazing. Like they're my favorite.
Yes, I agree. Now, another one of my favorite parts of the holidays, besides the food, is spending time with my family, including my pets.
Me too, Annabelle. And a woman from Boston gets to enjoy that this year. As well, after driving across the country to Jackson, Mississippi to pick up a sweet dog she found on social media.
Yes, it seems to be love at first sight for Julie Christian and her new adopted puppy, and it wasn't even on her radar to get a dog.
I saw her picture and it was just so stunning. So I made a deal with God and I said, I'm going to move toward this direction, and if you open the doors, I'll adopt this dog. I wasn't looking. This was not my intention.
Well, this weather, I cannot believe it's warm this week after having such cold temperatures last week. What's it going to be like this week, Mallory?
I know we are experiencing fall-like temperatures at night, but during the day it's actually heating up quite a bit, which is extremely rare for this type of year.
I know, exactly. It's literally the 1st of November, and I'm sweating walking to class today.
Yeah, so make sure you go out and enjoy the warm weather this week.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Annabelle Kinney.
And I'm Hannah Baker. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 5.
Thank you and good night.